I'm here at Our Story Studios, and look who stopped to see me today.
Hi, Jeff. Connie Anthony and John Anthony from Peterson Anthony Insurance.
Pleasure seeing you again.
Well, it's great to be here.
So glad you stopped by the studio.
Well, you know, the lights were on. It was inviting, so we came in.
I'm glad you did. You know, we just got done shooting an episode of Martin County on TV. That's probably why you saw the lights.
That's why. We're excited to see it.
Well, you know what? It's on tape already. Would you like to see it right now?
Yes, absolutely.
Sure. Well, let's take a look. Today I'm with
Stephanie Busiahn, Visit Fairmont Executive Director.
Welcome, Stephanie. It's
Thank
nice
you.
to see you again.
Nice
so glad
to see you.
came and joined us and were willing to co-host in this episode.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
Absolutely. So tell the folks a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah. Well, Executive Director of Visit Fairmont. Visit Fairmont is a destination marketing organization. So we are tasked with marketing the community, the area of Fairmont to our visitors.
Very cool. And how long have you been in the position?
I have been there for almost 13 years. 13
years? Well,
yes.
That went really fast for me. I don't know about for you.
It went very fast.
But it went really fast for me, so congratulations to you.
Thank you.
That's very exciting.
Thank you.
What are some of the duties that you are in charge of?
We market our community to a variety of regional states, states in our area, as well as within the state. Marketing our assets and the draws that we have for our community, our lakes, our green space, our parks, restaurants, the arts, the culture.
Do you market mostly to the Midwest, or occasionally do you go farther than that?
Mainly the Midwest. So we're
Okay.
very much a drive market.
Sure.
So we're pulling traffic and seeing significant traffic coming from Iowa, Wisconsin. Illinois has been a big piece. We're exactly a day's drive from Chicago and the Black Hills.
Nice.
We're a great stopping point. So see a lot of traffic coming across I-90. And then the Nebraska and the Omaha market has actually been an emerging market for us in the last couple of years, and we're seeing significant traffic coming from there also.
Very cool. Do you find a lot of people going elsewhere and making this the first stop, or do you hear much of that?
See a lot of that. People stopping by, again, with the amenities that we have. We're a great stopover place for people to kind of stretch their legs,
Absolutely.
get a great bite to eat, enjoy our lakes and our beautiful scenery here, and then continue on. We do see people coming, a lot of times them having ties to the community in some way, shape, or form, staying for an extended stay, but a lot of stopover, and we definitely welcome those people traveling the interstate and looking for a spot to...
Do you find most people stay a night, or it just varies on the time of year?
It varies, but probably more, the greatest amount being, probably 1 to 3.
Sure,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, very, very cool.
Yeah.
And now you assist, if that's the right word, or you help, like with festivals and events, or mostly getting the word out about them?
Yes. So being the destination marketing is kind of the core of who we are and what we do.
Okay.
So the creation of festivals doesn't necessarily land on our plate with being a small office, not a staff of 1.5.
Sure.
We really don't get into the nitty-gritty of creating these festivals, but we assist in marketing them, getting the word out to, again, kind of local, more regional, and throughout the state on what's happening here in Fairmont.
Sure. Very cool. Well, the IHD is a long time event for here in town, and people have loved it for years, so I'm sure that's a fun one to
It is,
help
and it's
promote
kind of gone through its cycle and was, King Corn days way back in the day,
absolutely.
And has kind of reinvented itself.
That's very, very cool. And in fact, little segue here, we have a tape, a story actually, that was done in 1995
Wow.
on Hometown Focus, and it's with Joan
Thilges.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know Joan?
I do.
Very, very cool. And Kay
Wrucke.
Yes. Oh, you're good. You're good. Thank you for helping with those names. They did a story about that festival in 1995. Why don't we show the folks right now?
Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Janet Ruth. Thanks for tuning in. Well, we're sailing into summer, and what better place to be than the Chain of Lakes Yacht Club? Did you realize that the Yacht Club resides on land once known as Interlaken Park? That's right, many people have wonderful memories of that popular amusement park. In fact, our city festival, Interlaken Heritage Days, honors the park's memory. Last week, we met with festival organizers Kay Wrucke and Joan Thilges at Gamsrud Park to learn a little more about the festival and its history.
You know, it's hard to believe that it's been almost 7 years since we planned our first festival in 1989. The theme for the festival, Interlaken Heritage Days, was a wonderful choice since there was always something wonderful going on at Interlaken Park during the days of its founder, Frankie Wade. Interlaken Park was built at the site of a group of summer homes belonging to Fairmont's early English colonists. The Fairmont Boat Company, owned by Frankie Wade, rented the land between Amber and Hall Lake as a fishing resort. The city of Fairmont was the boat company's 50-foot luxury boat and sailed from the Webster Street Pier through the channels to Interlaken. The Concorde was built in 1908 on the ice of Lake Siston. She was 112 feet long and held hundreds of passengers until she was scrapped in 1922. The Webster Street Pier was at the site of the Ward Park floating dock. Wade stored his fleet of boats there. Wade purchased the park in 1915 and immediately began developing it. The S-shaped channel held the Japanese gardens. The T-shape at upper left was the inn. The circle was the racetrack. The boat and diving piers were on the Hall Lake shore. This 1915 view shows the concrete bridge, toboggan slides, boathouse, and piers. A larger toboggan slide was added in 1916. Imagine carrying a wooden toboggan up 2 flights of stairs and rocketing down into the lake. The Interlaken Inn was opened in 1916 with 50 rooms. The inn was located on the hill to the north of the park. Every room had a view and a porch overlooking Hall Lake. The zoo was near the present channel opening on Amber Lake. Lenny Burden operated the zoo, which included many exotic and not so exotic animals. He ran zoos at several locations in Fairmont over the years. Wade added 138 acres of land to the original 43 and opened the first 9 links of the Interlaken Golf Course in 1917. Part of the park had a carnival atmosphere. The roller rink was expanded and eventually enclosed. Activities abounded, including baseball and tennis. A Ferris wheel, merry-go-round, and miniature railroad entertained children, while adults enjoyed all types of contests and variety acts. Diving competitions drew participants from Minneapolis to Chicago. Sailing and all kinds of races and daredevil events, including hippodrome races, were popular. The Great Fussner descended a spiral ramp on a large ball while Roman candles exploded around him. William Jennings Bryan spoke to a crowd of thousands for 2.5 hours in 1918 on the subjects of patriotism, prohibition, and women's suffrage. The bandstand from which he spoke was located at the Amber Lake side of the Japanese Gardens. The part of the park closest to Wade's heart was the Japanese Gardens. Construction began in 1917. We are looking west toward the zoo. The position of the channel and the road are now reversed. Channels were dug, dams built, and newly formed islands emerged. Wade had traveled all over the country visiting other gardens, hoping to make Interlaken the most spectacular Japanese gardens anywhere. Many a snapshot and postcard were taken here. The gardens were meant to be beautifully landscaped and carefully planted and maintained. The rustic bridge was on the Amber Lake end of the channel. The bandstand was behind the bridge. The Japanese Garden Channel started north of Amber Lake Park at the base of the hill overlooking Amber Lake, and it wound its way through the park, entering Hall Lake about where the channel enters now. Unfortunately, Wade died in 1919 without finishing the Japanese gardens or the park. By 1937, the gardens were far from lovely, and their beauty was fading rapidly. The Japanese gardens were truly beautiful in their heyday, but I hear 3 generations of Fairmont residents talk about the Interlaken Ballroom.
Yes, Joan. People had a lot of fun at the dances at Interlaken Ballroom.
The dance pavilion was one of the park's oldest buildings. Weekly dances started in 1919. Many bands, including music greats Lawrence Welk and Duke Ellington, played at the ballroom. The Menke Melody Orchestra, directed by Al Menke, first played there in 1920. The Interlaken Ballroom remained popular until it accidentally burned down in 1972. Many people still love to reminisce about the wonderful times at the ballroom, but those summer parades were wonderful too.
That's right, Joan. Everybody loves a parade.
Fairmont loved a good parade, and an early Sentinel editor accused the town of starting a parade with very little provocations. Soldiers leaving, soldiers returning, new buildings, holidays. These were all reasons for a parade. The whole downtown would be decked out in streamers, and people would come countywide to join the celebration. Another way we celebrate is to recreate some of the excitement of Interlaken Park with taste. You know, I think Fairmont loves to celebrate its heritage, and I think Warren Nelson's song, Take a Boat Ride on the Concord, expresses this beautifully, showing us our wonderful and amazing history through song.
Take a boat ride on the Concord in the summer on a Sunday. Get on at Sylvania or here at the Webster Street Pier in your white dress with a parasol, sipping tea and the clouds go by, in your summer suit with a straw hat or a derby, and one arm around you, baby. Out across Lake Sisseton, it's a grand view of the courthouse. On south by the paddle wheel, under Bird's Bridge, into Bud Lake. It gets a little windy on the lake in the afternoon. Hold your hat while you chat. It's a nice day, you say. It's so lovely to be out on the water. Through the channel at the lair into Hall Lake, see the rowboats and the fishermen, sailboats and seagulls, pelicans and white caps in the wind. Here comes a landing on the beach at Interlaken Park. You get off here to swim, see the zoo or have a picnic, or dinner at the inn while the boat goes back downtown.
That was awesome, wasn't it?
Very cool.
I love it. Great history. And how about that Warren? Did he do a good job?
He did a great job.
Always local celebrity.
Yeah.
Always doing a great job in promoting our area too. And speaking about promotions, how do you assist in promoting, and how is your organization funded?
We are funded by a 3% sales tax on our lodging facilities. All of our hotels in town collect this tax, so if anyone comes to stay, whether it be for a sports tournament or just passing through on the interstate and need a place to stay, there's a 3% sales tax that the city collects for us and hands over to us, again, to utilize to market and promote Fairmont as an overnight attraction or destination. Those dollars specifically used to market and promote.
Is that through ads, through radio, through television, through whatever is best suited for that event or promotion?
Or that market. Correct. Because we are a drive market, because we're seeing significant travelers being, in that 50, 55 plus range. We still do a lot of print But digital has definitely been creeping up into our marketing plan over the years. It's grown and evolved and changed. There's a lot of great capabilities in terms of tracking. You can narrow down to, really who is seeing, where they're seeing, how they're seeing. So digital has definitely been kind of increasing over the last couple of years.
Do you see a big difference in age market for who's looking at, I'm stating the obvious probably, but who's looking at what form of promotion?
Yeah, although, we're seeing across the board an increase in viewing on digital. Even in those 50 to 55 plus age range are still getting a lot of their information and a lot of their data digitally. So, but again, we still are utilizing print. There's some radio. We do a local radio show to kind of include and get our local people caught up to speed on what's going on in the area. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very cool.
Yeah.
Do you assist with things like the Yacht Club and the Opera House and things like that?
We help, we utilize those in terms of venues, and we help market those venues for meetings, class reunions, family reunions.
Sure.
So working with a lot of local people, if they're hosting a family reunion or a class reunion, we'll help them kind of customize an itinerary.
And to make sure they're aware of what's available that they can set up here.
Exactly.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So we'll get requests of people coming, I'm looking for a spot to hold this many people. I'm looking for, a caterer. Can you help us with this? So we'll walk them through that process.
Very, very cool. Awesome. Yeah. Well, speaking of the Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Another story done in 1995 by Janet Ruth and Ray
Stougaard.
Yeah.
Stougaard.
Very good. I'm glad you got it pronounced right, because I don't think I was going to get it. So they did a report in 1995 about the history of the Yacht Club.
Wow.
I think it's very interesting. Should we show that?
Let's take a look.
Let's do it.
Interlaken Park is a fascinating part of Fairmont's history. In fact, this section of land and water has seen a lot of good times over the years. In 1957, a sailing regatta was staged here on Hall Lake that sparked the idea of a yacht club. By early 1958, 5 Fairmonters, Ab Harbor, Joe Casper, Neil Nickerson, Dick Paulson, and Ray Stougaard organized the Chain of Lakes Yacht Club. They leased land on the south shore of Hall Lake in Interlaken Park, remodeled an old bathhouse into a clubhouse, cleaned up what was considered the best swimming beach in the Fairmont area, built docks, and enticed 50 families to join them. At that time, Interlaken Park's dance pavilion, roller rink, and a tavern were still operational. However, the Japanese gardens had been filled with dirt leveled from a nearby ridge. By 1960, the Yacht Club's sea sailing fleet had expanded to more than 10 boats plus 3 ex-boats. Roger Swanson, now a world-class sailor, can be seen riding the wind here. Then in 1962, Hall Lake was declared unfit for swimming due to suburban septic tank sewage. The Chain of Lakes Yacht Club bought its leased property and built its present swimming pool. In 1968, the suburban area joined the city of Fairmont, bringing sewer and water to the club. By that time, a junior pram fleet had been launched and the butterfly sailboat introduced to replace the larger, more physical Sea. One person who has played a major role in the development of the yacht club is Ray Stougaard, who's rigging a sailboat over here. Let's go visit with him. Hello, Ray.
Oh, hi, Jan.
So you and the other founders picked a beautiful location here on the south shore of Hall Lake. Tell us a little about those early yacht club days.
Well, they were interesting. I thought there was 2 things you might be interested in. First of all, it was Ab Harbor who suggested we go and look at this property. And we came down, and I know you're going to show pictures of that later, which I think you'll find interesting. And then at the same time, while we were walking across the property, Joe Casper said to me, gee, this would be a swell place for a pool. And I didn't say anything to him, but I said, my God, why do we want to put a pool in when we have the best beach in Martin County? And in 4 years, we had to put in a pool. So I showed you how much you know about what's going to happen in life. It's been 37 years now, and I think it's been able to give people a place on the lake that they otherwise may not have. Fairmont's lakes are the biggest asset that our community has, and I know that they enjoy them, and by having this piece of property available to them, they've got things that otherwise they may not have. We have excellent ramps, we've got docks, we got places to moor boats where if you don't have a place on the lake, and that's really how it started. For me particularly, I live over on another lake, and I had to find a place to put my boat or keep taking it in and out all the time, and I didn't want to do that, so the Yacht Club really provided a place for people such as myself.
What kind of sailing boats do you use right now at the Yacht Club?
Well, we have what they call the M16. That's what this boat here is. It's 16 feet long and it has a peculiar snout to it. It's rounded. It's when it's in the water, it only draws about 6 inches of water, and they're very fast. They're just like a little sports car. You got a convertible? Yeah, you know, it's something like that. And they're a two-person boat, and they're safe, and yet they're very much fun.
I know you have a lot of fun on them. Let's talk about the clubhouse for a minute. The original clubhouse, as we said earlier, was a remodeled bathhouse, and then an addition was added to that in 1969. Then 10 years ago in '85, another big change took place. The original clubhouse was raised, and the addition moved to its present site as part of a new and larger clubhouse. Ray, what were some of the reasons for that change?
Well, there were a number of reasons. As you can see, or you will see, the bathhouse, and it was a bathhouse, was very rudimentary, and it's right up against the lake. And it was small, and we were growing. And then we added an addition, which is, you may see that too later on, which is the wing of the new clubhouse. But the wing, an addition was right directly behind it. And Senator Rudy Boschwich, the ex-senator, came out here for some sort of a function, and he says, "This is a yacht club?" He says, "Where's the lake?" Because he couldn't see the lake because the addition was behind the original building, and there was no view of the lake. And so when we relocated it, the other thing is, because of the clubhouse being this close to the shore, none of the rest of the property was being used. It was just one great big parking lot. And so instead, when we did relocate it, we moved it back, so now you have the whole yard or the property that you can utilize, and the parking lot is where it is, back of the clubhouse, and it doesn't bother with the use of the facilities. We had a rain here in 1979. In a little over an hour, we had 12 inches of rain, and the road between our property and Amber Lake was flooded to a depth of about 3 feet. This became an island over here, the Interlaken Park. You couldn't get past the yacht club and through this area and onto there because the lake had flooded up. The water was coming so much off the watershed. We have about a 40-mile square watershed that feeds into the lakes, and the water was coming so fast it couldn't get through the channel fast enough, so it just overflowed the land. And the water was coming down around our clubhouse. It raised havoc with our tennis courts and so on and so forth. And that's another reason why the club is there. It's up there and it's up high, so God will really have to strike us with fury to be able to flood the clubhouse this time.
I know that new facility has really been an improvement. There are modern kitchen facilities there now. A lot of things happen.
Right.
There's a larger dining area. There are changing rooms and bathrooms there. And I know that that facility is used not only by members, but it's also available for rent. Haven't there been wedding receptions, class reunions, graduation parties, business gatherings? All sorts of groups are now using the facility. And the heated pool is also a drawing card for the Yacht Club. It's a popular spot on warm summer days, and it offers a great view of Hall Lake. Plus, there's a wading pool, a large sandbox, playground equipment. They're all nearby for the youngsters. Then the volleyball area. Their volleyball area, tennis courts, plenty of ground for the kids just to run around. It's really a nice spot. Are there still memberships available, Ray?
Oh, yes, there are. And I wanted to stress this. This is a family place. It's for the kids. I mean, with families, they come here, they've just had a ball. And that's what it's really all about. And it's also a place which everything you see here is really a result of sweat labor in a sense. The club members have worked very hard in doing the various things. They've made the docks, they put in the docks, they helped build the new clubhouse, put in the insulation and all that sort of thing. Over here there's a fire pit that you may notice, and what happens is lots of times families will come out here and bring their kids and they'll camp overnight. It's great. Great place for their tents, and they can still have the facilities of the clubhouse. There are memberships available, and if you are interested at all in owning a piece of the lake, this is a good place to come. See Cindy Woolheater or Commodore Perry Bernhau, or anybody in the club, and tell them that you're interested in possibly joining, and they'll be more than happy to talk to you about it and show you why you really should.
And if people want to rent the facility, they contact Terry Larson at TNT, is that right?
That's correct.
Thanks for visiting, Ray.
It's been my pleasure.
Say, how about if we sail over to the Channel Inn for a burger?
Why, of course, Jan. You're buying, of course?
I guess so. Why don't you rig the sails, Ray? I'll be back in a minute.
Well, good. I'm very hungry.
Well, there's another good report.
Loved it.
And good history about a great organization.
That entity and that venue is...
Isn't it unique?
It's great.
And very, very cool. So that was a great report. Did you know Janet? Do you know Janet Ruth?
I do.
She does such a great job. She's kind of my inspiration.
She's a phenomenal lady.
I got a ways to go, I'll tell you. She always does a great job. So thank you to those folks for putting that story together. So Stephanie, share with the folks a little bit, because I know some of them are probably a little curious. Where are you from? Your family and such?
Yeah. I grew up in Willmar, graduated from high school there. I went on to college at Minnesota State University, Mankato, and met my husband in college. Moved here pretty much right out of college for a job, with the intention of, staying here, getting some experience, 3 to 5 years, and then on I went to bigger and better things. Life happens. This community kind of has a way of grabbing hold, and so fantastic community. This community is great. Great place to raise a family. So I have 3 children, a set of twins, and an older son. So they're 7 and 4.
The twins are 4.
The twins are 4.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And a 7-year-old. So all boys.
All boys.
All boys. I do have 2 female dogs.
Oh, so, thank God.
Right. We stick together. Yeah. So
you have your plate full on both fronts.
Yeah. It's busy. It's busy, but it's fun. Definitely.
Now I heard through the grapevine that you have something else going on with your position. Is that correct?
Yeah. Recently, I was appointed to a tourism council. So the governor appointed me to a tourism council, which I'm very excited about. This is a 28 member board, our council, that works with our state organization, Explore Minnesota Tourism, and kind of helps provide input and insight in terms of statewide tourism.
So does this require you to travel quite a bit more?
We have 4 meetings a year. Okay. And 2 of those are held in St. Paul at the Explore Minnesota Tourism office. And then the other 2 are held kind of outstate.
Okay. And who attends these meetings?
The Explore Minnesota Tourism Director.
Okay.
He's the chair of the council. And then a variety of sectors from the tourism industry help make up that council.
So, and I apologize, you said that you meet where?
We meet 4 times a year. So 2 of those being in St. Paul.
Okay.
And then 2 of them being in greater Minnesota.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice for our community.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Nice to have you involved with that for sure.
Yeah.
Puts us on the map a little bit more.
There you go. Yeah.
That's a great job.
Definitely.
Well, Stephanie, I want to thank you for joining us today. This has been very interesting. Had a couple great reports. And,
absolutely.
I think we're going to have you come back.
All right. I would love that. Thanks you so much.
Thanks for coming today.
All right.
Well, there you have it. Another episode of Martin County on TV.
That was a great episode.
And the segments were very good, and I thought it turned out very well. I was very pleased.
I agree.
We're going to have the 2 of you on the show.
That would be fun. I'd love to.
You'd be surprised how many people that come visit us that end up on the show.
Well, that's what you get when you come in. Great hospitality.
Very good. So again, I want to thank you for stopping. Thank you, our viewers, for watching. And as we share with you the sponsors that made this show possible, remember, it's not just the past, but the present that tells our story.